Welcome back to DigiBurst, guys. It has been a hot minute since I've been on, but I just wanted to jump in to talk about the black-based Dex Doru list that I took to the Oceania Regionals just yesterday. That I went undefeated with. I went 5-0-2, so 2 draws, 5 wins. Not quite enough of an undefeated record to take the whole tournament, but it's still something I'm very proud of accomplishing, especially because I got 4th place, which is in that top 8 bracket of the Omnimon, so really close to winning the whole thing if I just hadn't drawn out that last game, but I'm very happy with the record regardless. So big shout out to Ben for putting me on this profile. I saw his video, I got inspired by his combos, and I think I tweaked it a little bit to put my own little spin on it and expand the ceiling. And I was very happy with the results, honestly. I felt like the differences that I made in this deck really contributed to the wins I was able to achieve. So we can just jump straight into it. We've got, for the rookies, 4 of the Dorumon that puts the Kyosuke underneath to make it immune to non-deletion removal. That effect honestly never came up. I never played against a deck that had like non-deletion removal really. I played against Sun and Moon Mirage combo, but the Mirage bouncing back the big dude never came up because he never made a big enough stack to bounce. A level 6. He never played the Mirage level 6. So yeah, by getting a free Kyosuke is always really good, and getting that Tamer underneath to turn on the level 4 and level 5 in order to go into level 6 was really good too, or force the attack. So 4 Doros I think was the essential, and plus 1k does come up a lot. 3 of the Reboot Dorumon. There were times where I could have used the when attacking effect to go into my Dorumon, but it just wasn't a good opportunity. This was particularly against the 7 Demon Lords, but it just wasn't worth going into. It was better off building up a stack because I had plenty of memory to work with as well. So 3 of those, I wouldn't change that. 1 Dorumon. This is a piece you don't want to be building with. This is a combo piece that works with other things that I like to do in order to get that +1 memory or get the search. You hardly build with it. You only really build with it if it's the only rookie in your hand. You'd much rather just hold it for expanding the ceiling of your combos. But yeah, that's why you run the 1 copy. So when you have the opportunity to do the combo, you have it ready for it. And the last rookies, 2 Jakurimons. Jakurimons were a flex spot that I put in against 7 Demon Lords and other hard playstyles, Omnimon, Royal Knights, things like that. That just, the rogue decks, or some of the rogue decks that reduce the play cost that you have trouble removing, because often when they just hard play guys, they do it cheaply and they do it with some form of floating effect or protection against removal, protection against deletion. So when your only form of removal is deletion in this deck, or de-digivolving if they have cards to de-digivolve, but usually they don't, you need to have other ways to counter the deck because they're just gonna get either pluses or some sort of benefit from the deletion. So Jakurimon was a really good counter, especially against 7 Demon Lords. I think this won me one of the games. I was really happy with it. On to the champions. 4 of the Joruga that forces the attack. That's essential. +1k is really good. Getting that discard and draw is really good to start the trash. And forcing the attack is just amazing to go into your level 6 after your level 5. 1 of the Dex Doru. I just play the 1. The popping effect doesn't come up very often. The draw and discard is nice, but it is a 3 cost Evo over a rookie. The reboot is okay, but a lot of your Digimon already give reboot as an inheritable, so oftentimes it's not important. This is really just here to put in the trash in order for your Dorumons to have protection against deletion by evoing into it and potentially getting a pop from the trash, which is sort of nice, but it's really just a flex spot for that protection against certain decks. Or sometimes it'll come up when you swing with the Doru into security, and the Doru would be deleted, you either insert dex to save it. So it's okay. I think it's best at 1 copy and not anymore, just for that flexing. These two, Edgemon was amazing. There were plenty of times where I hard slammed it just to get a tamer on the board, so you have a tamer ready for when your rookie pushes up to put underneath the Doru. The devolving effect was amazing, especially when you play it off the inheritable of the Doru Grey to expand your board wipe. Absolutely amazing, and of course Marvin Jackson, amazing in this deck to set up your trash. This is a flex. This is a change from Ben's list that I was really proud of. 3 of the Sephiroth. Sephiroth is amazing. It put in so much work this tournament, forcing the attack over the SOC tamer was exactly what I needed to get back into the game. Lots of times my opponent would overextend in order to clear the board and make sure that I wasn't pushing out with a rookie. And by clearing the board, they think that they have game next turn. But oftentimes they left my tamers on board because they don't have any form of removal. So by overextending, thinking they have lethal next turn, I can Digivolve over the SOC and then go into the Doru Grey, keeping the SOC under. That will force the attack of their Digimon, making them attack my Doru Grey when I block, and then I can go straight into my level 6, and then I can counter their board wipe. I'll be getting a deletion of the Doru Grey, I'll be blocking their card, probably deleting them, and then going into a guy from unsuspending, of course, and the Doru Grey would bring back a guy from trash. Sometimes this would be the Airdramon, which would Digivolve a guy. That is 2 Digimon deletions, or a Tamer Digimon deletion, and a Digivolve. And that's just huge. That's huge. Plus you've got a block for the next attack, and if they don't have a form of removal, you are sweeping with collision to get over their another guy. That's a huge comeback that my opponents were not prepared for. Other things that I did with the Sephiroth one was the fact that it is just hybrid for game. There were lots of times where I pushed lethal for 5 damage and then wrapped up the game with Sephiroth. It just came up so much. I'm so happy with 3 Sephiroth, I would not change that. Sephiroth is also really good just as a level 4. Sometimes you'd have a rookie pushing out, you'd go, you put the tamer under, the SOC tamer under, and you go into Sephiroth and you go into Doru Grey. That's just a pseudo Doru Garmon, where you would force the attack with the Dorugamon. Essentially, you're just doing it with the Sephiroth instead, and the Doru Grey is just there to evo up. It's perfect. It's amazing. It was so good to have essentially 3 more copies of the Force attack, as well as flexible spots for hybrid pushes and hybrid over the tamers. Sephiroth is, I feel, mandatory at 3 just for that ability to do that. I'm so happy with it. And of course, you can just trash it off the Dorugamon if you don't need it at the time because you already have it in hand. So yeah, 3 Sephiroth, absolutely mandatory, I think. On to level 5s. For Doru Grey, you should already know what this does. Collision, either up if you have the tamer with when you redirect an attack, and of course the inheritable is absolutely amazing to get your Dorugas or the Airdramons and just go wide. Super good. It's the best card on the deck, I think, just for how much plus you can get off it. We have 3 of the Megadramon. Megadramon, I was running at 2, but I expanded it to 3 copies because it was just putting in so much work. This is your alternative level 5 to make a line. Digivolve does come up in order to avoid acing. On play, I did a lot on in the first couple of turns, because a lot of time your opponent is trying to build up. If they're building up, a lot of times they don't have the pieces to roam a board. So sometimes just slamming Megadramon in the very early game is really nice in order for you to score a free tamer when you reveal on top, and getting a piece that you need in order to push up and make a combo. Megadramon is also really good if you score a level 6 from the search, or if you already have in hand, and you get a tamer, because you got tamer plus level 6, you can put it under, you go straight into a Dorumon that Doru level 6 to kill a Digimon or tamer. Really good for early game because your opponent wants to be setting up tamers. But yeah, it also triggers on Digivolve, and the when attacking effect to delete a tamer came up a lot as well, especially against blue hybrid or getting rid of pesky Digimon Emperors. Oftentimes you're putting under the Marvin Jackson just so you have jamming, so it lives. Against blue hybrid, I swung with jamming with the Marvin Jackson. I deleted their level 3 Koji, the 3 cost Koji, and then got jamming, it lives. Evo up into Doruga, level 6, and I killed their Memory Side Koji. So really happy with that. Keeping them off tame is really good. Yeah, Megadramon puts in lots of work. Really happy just hard slamming it, honestly. Even if you give them a lot of memory, sometimes in the early game, they just don't have the cards in order to use that memory efficiently. So if you give them, like, they choke you on 1, you hard slam the Megadramon, you give them 6. When you have 6 and it's turn 2, sometimes you just don't have the cards. You have like 6 cards in hand. Sometimes they're just not enough to pass turn effectively. Like sometimes you just don't have, I don't know, Memory Set of Tamer, Blue Boost, put you back on 1. Sometimes it's just Blue Boost and your opponent would rather be set to 2, you know? So sometimes they just play Tamer past turn, and that's a huge plus. That's just huge, because when they just play Tamer past turn, you go right into your level 6 and pop it. On to the last level 5, Doru Greymon from BT7. This card I don't see much of in lists. For me, this isn't a build piece, this is an expansion piece. You are using it in order to get your +1 security attack in order to push for game. How you're doing that, I will explain a little bit later in the video. The when attacking effect, the when digivolving effect, we only really do it if it's the only level 5 in your hand and you need to push up. But it is kind of nice getting a reboot if you don't have reboot to slot under, if you don't already have it, or getting an additional +1k. Otherwise, it's only here for that +1 security attack. But yeah, it's really good at 1 copy. Level 6s. 4 of the Dorugoromon. Dorugora was really good at 4 copies. You need to have it at 4 because you need to be drawing it, you need to be seeing it. It is also the base form before you go into the Dex Dorugora. Deleting a unsuspended guy and collision, amazing. Unsuspending when a Digimon is deleted, absolutely amazing. Really good for push for lethal. When you have this plus this, you can swing for 2 jacks, swing with a rookie, the rookie is deleted, unsuspend, swing for 2 jacks, and then push up with a hybrid for game. I did that so many times. So many times I did that. And it was just amazing in order to get over that lethal point from 5 security. That OTK was really good. I could just focus on controlling the board in the early game and then just go for an OTK in the late game with those 6 checks. Just really, really good. You can do the same thing with the Dex Dorugora, because Dex Dorugora has that unsuspending when something is deleted. So you can do here, you can do 2 checks, you can swing with a rookie, the rookie's deleted, you unsuspend, do 2 checks, hybrid for game. Came up so often. So often. D-Digivolve is really good from Trash, I like that, and also kills everything with the lowest level. One thing you can do with D-Digivolve is that it doesn't have to do the maximum D-Digivolve that's listed on the card. When it says D-Digivolve 3, that means that you can D-Digivolve up to 3. You can D-Digivolve 2. If you D-Digivolve 1, you have to D-Digivolve at least 1. So a lot of times my opponent will have like 3 guys on board. You have like a level 4, a level 4, and a big stack that would D-Digivolve to a level 3, D-Digivolve by 3. If you D-Digivolve that big stack to a level 4, you board wipe. You kill all the level 4s because the Dex Dorumon will delete all the Digimon of the lowest level when it's Digivolve from Trash all over level 6 of the Dorugora. So yeah, a lot of times I just D-Digivolve by 2 and I wipe the board. And of course, it restands when it board wipes. Just really, really good stuff. On to the Tamers. For the Kyosuke. Sorry, 3 of the Kyosuke. Kyosuke is really good. Memory set is alright. Piercing's pretty good, especially with collision. It's not my preferred tamer usually. My preferred tamer is often the EG. Just because when you unsuspend, you will be getting that additional attack, and if you bring back a guy with the Doru Grey inheritable, then EG can do 2 damage when you suspend with Alliance. So yeah, Kyosuke of course is a free tamer of the Doru when it pushes out on start of main. But yeah, just good. Memory setting's good. Memory setting is also very essential in order to do that hybrid push with the Sephiroth. Or you can go, because you're being set to 3, you can go Sephiroth into Doru Grey, and then that passes turn on 3 and your opponent's forced to attack, and then you can just go straight up into your level 6. So Kyosuke is really important in order to make sure that you have 3 memory at least to do your hybrid push. Because unfortunately the hybrid is 3 cost. I mentioned EG, really good for the Alliance, really good for pushing for game. And then 3 of the Marvin Jackson. Marvin Jackson really nice for the Edgemon DD Evolve. Really good for setting up trash because you are discarding your pieces in order to get that +1 memory in at the start of turn, start of your main phase. And also getting your Dexes in trash, your Dex Doru 4s or your Dex Doru 6s in order to give them protection against deletion. But also setting up your Doru Greys. Sometimes you just need to put a 5 cost guy in trash in order to bring it back with the Doru Grey and get a nice wide board. So yeah, I really like these ones. These were really good. Yeah, SOCs, amazing. This is the flex board that I was talking about, double UG. So UG was really fun in order to expand your board. UGs were often getting that +1 memory and draw really good in order to expand your what you can do on the turn. But when attacking the slot under the X antibody was so huge. I used the effect so many times. Doru Grey was most of the time in order to push for lethal in order to get that +1 security attack. This is what I was talking about. And then push for game, 2 checks, 2 checks, hit with rookie dies, unsuspend, 2 checks, hybrid for game over one of the UGs that is not unsuspended, or one of the SOC tamers, because you have to suspend this in order to put this in here. But you would likely have another tamer that is unsuspended, probably an SOC tamer. You can also put under, of course, what I was talking about earlier with the Doru. You can slot under the Doru, you get +1 memory, and then with that +1 memory, maybe you just need that extra memory in order to do that hybrid for game. It does happen. It does happen. But +1 memory is also really good for expanding up in order to do just a combo if you need it. And of course, you get that +1 memory as soon as you put it under, because the Doru inheritable sees itself. Don't ask me how the ruling works. I just know that it works. Other things that you can put under. You can't put under the Edgemon because Edgemon is not a X antibody, but you can put under the Dorus to get +1k. And you can put under the other Dorus for reboot. So you can also put under +1k. There are plenty of times I put +1k under to make sure I wasn't being deleted by DP reduction. I went against Dominionmon. And they have pretty nasty DP reduction. One time they DP reduced by 14k, but because I had extra 1k bonuses from the UG, I was able to keep it strong enough to protect it, to keep it on board from the DP reduction. So yeah, UG was amazing. Absolutely worked amazingly with that, especially with the +1 security attack. I was able to push so hard +1 security attack and probably win our games that I probably shouldn't have won, because I was able to OTK on that turn. Options. For mandatory defense training, I don't think I need to explain that any further. Surgeon the Tamers is exactly what it needs to do in order to get that +2k, +2 from that 2 search. And delay, it pays for itself in the future. Really good for passing turn, really good for being passive. 1 Protoform and 1 Black Boost. Black Boost, I just had a spare spot and it's a nice passive card. I needed more passive cards for searching. And I didn't want to run Analog Youth or Cool Boy. Cool Boy just doesn't work well in this deck because I'm not building a stack with with the same levels, usually. And I don't want to be tucking away my Tamers. I know Black Boost does tuck away Tamers, but having that memory gain is really good in order to, when you do get that Tamer, you can pitch it in order to play the Tamer on the same turn and hopefully keep turn. Black Boost also saved me when I hit a Hammer Spark in security, so I could pitch it to go into my hybrid for game. Protoform, really good in order to go up and keep turn. It's 1 less cost when you Digivolve into the X Antibody. Make sure that you are Digivolving X Antibody. Cards like Airdramon are not X Antibodies, so you need to make sure you're doing it properly. And of course, getting that bonus in security was really good to last you out. I haven't covered the eggs. Eggs for Doraemon. It is what it is. Getting that draw is really good in order to give a larger hand size so you have more options. But yeah, just gotta be careful with Mirage. Though I did play it against the Galaxy Mirage Loop, I was forced to draw when I slotted a Tamer underneath, but because I had the memory Tamer, I was able to keep turn, and I was able to expand from there. Yeah. From there, I had a 5-0-2 record, so I drew. My only draws were to Magna X Antibody, playing Veemon bottom. I was really happy with the games. Unfortunately, I hit Sora Joe's in security. Now, Sora Joe's is what made the matchup very difficult, because I would normally just force the Magna to attack, pass turn on there, and when they swing with attack, I block and I go into my Dexdoru to Digivolve the Magna X and delete by blocking. Then get huge pluses off the Doru Grey and play on from there. That would normally be really good, but because she was able to set up the Sora Joe's, she was able to strip out my blocking Tamers, SOC Tamers, so I wasn't able to block and she could just get huge punches. So she played really smart by doing that, and I just made a really complex board state where I had to set up 2 Doru Greys with blocking Tamer inheritables, so that when she swang, I could trigger either of them when Sora Joe would only strip out 1 of my SOC Tamers. So by doing that, I was able to win one of the games, the game 2, but because that kind of board state was so difficult for me to accomplish, I spent so much time doing that, we couldn't get into game 3, and I won game 2 on my last turn in 4 minutes of overtime. So I was really lucky in order to get that win in, to get the draw. But yeah, I just needed more time in order to actually get that accomplishment, because honestly, it's so difficult to get past the Magna X once it's set up. The other draw was to 7 Demon Lords. I won game 1. That one game took a while. But game 2, I almost won that one too in overtime. I had my OTK set up doing 2 checks with the Dex, 1 check with Rookie, 1 check with Rookie, and then I was going to do my 2 checks with my Dexdoru to swing at the last 2 security. But none of my rookies died in security, so my Dex couldn't unsuspend, and I had my hybrid in hand, ready to push after my Dex did the last 2 checks. They had like 6 security, but because my rookies didn't die, my Dex didn't unsuspend, and I couldn't push for lethal. So I had to like jerry-rigged a weird setup in order to try to get my Doru 6 on the board, so that when it would be deleted by the level 7 Demon Lord, I would go into the Dex in order to delete their level 7. But they already had a level 6 on board, I think, that had protection. I think it was Sleep Mode, Belphemon. Yeah, they're at 4 security. They blocked the 2 security hit with the Belphemon, and then when I pushed my rookies, none of my rookies died in their 4th and 3rd check. So if they had died, my decks would unsuspended. It would have hit at the last 2 security, then it would have hybrid for game. Yeah, but yeah, so that when my decks came out, it only killed the level 6, and then he just swung to level 7 and wiped my board, and that's game. So yeah, we drew that one, unfortunately. But if I had won that one, I would have had a 6-0-1 record. And the guy who won the whole tournament also had a 6-0-1 record. So I like to think that if I had won that, I would have won the regionals, or at least came second. But yeah, really happy with 4th place, no losses, no match losses. Big shout out to Ben for the big inspiration. He also did a really good deep dive video. I'll link it below. He goes into depth with all the combos and everything. Other than that, that's my second Omnimon win. I think that's the last regionals for this year for me, because I'm not doing any in-person ones. Just Ultimate Cups now. Just got to win out those Ultimate Cups for the Shine Greymons. Yeah. See you next time.